My name is Sharda, and I represent an organization called Population First. And this is an organization which works to place population issues within the framework of gender equality and social development. Population was started in 2002 by Mr. Bobby Sister, who is a doyen in advertising world, with the support of the corporate leaders. And the reason why they started is they thought that there is a need to work on the population issues, particularly from the communication perspective. So we believe that population is not just an issue of numbers, and it is about how we treat our population, how we invest in our people, and how we grow. Particularly how we invest in our women and their ability to exercise their rights and choices. So therefore, we work on health and population issues from a gender and social development perspective. Why the need to work from a gender perspective on population issues? Is it not just a issue of numbers? This data shows that how intricately gender is related to population. First and foremost, we have 40% of girls marrying before they are 18. 25% of them have their first baby by 19 years. The mothers are malnourished, and then they give birth to low birth weight babies. There's high infant and child mortality rate, maternal mortality rates, leading to high fertility because more number of children dying, there's more pressure on the woman to have more children. When there is where there is son preference, then there is a need to go for repeated sex selective abortions. Then there are regional disparities because in states which have not invested in women, we find that the population growth is high, and also and in those states where there is development, there is son preference, and then we have sex ratios falling. So it is basically an issue of how we look at women. And one of the major issues is the way we consider a girl to be a pariah dhan. She gets married and goes off, so she's a wasted investment, and so there's no point in investing in her health, education, employment, nutrition, etc., leading to low skill development. And when she's having low skill development, no economic participation, she's considered a burden, and there is more and more gender-based violence against her. So this is a very simplistic but very, more or less a correct relationship between gender and population. I would like to narrate a small incident in my life. Once we were having a puppet making workshop, and then I came out of my room and I saw the girls painting and stitching and the boys chipping the wood. I asked them why not reverse the roles. And then the boys said, one boy came to me very angrily and he asked me, जो व्यवस्थित तरीके से चल रहा है उसको क्यों बदलना चाहते? So do we change? Everybody is happy, nobody is complaining. So do we really need to work on gender issues? Do we need to have our agency in making a difference so that our country is better, women's lives are better, or we just let it be as it is? So this is a question we have to ask, and we felt that we really need to focus because this is one area where there is not so much happening. There's something happening, but there's not a great deal happening. There can be many solutions to this, how we address the gender issues. We can indulge in policy advocacy, legal judicial activism, community mobilization, program interventions, and mindset change. The options are many. We have chosen two approaches. One is program intervention, the other one is mindset change. Here we are working on two projects. One is the Action for Mobilization of Community Health Initiatives, where we are working in 66 villages in Thane district, where we are working on community participation to improve the quality of services that are offered. And the second one is our Ladli campaign, which is a girl-child campaign focusing on gender advocacy to change the mindsets. And that is what Population First is all about. And today I'm focusing only on the Ladli campaign that we are doing. We have some of the best laws in the country, in the world. We have very good policies. Where we fail is in the implementation of those. And then that is because of the mindsets that are prevailing, and we need to change the way we see and treat women in India. So we are focusing on two groups, that is the youth and media. The reason why we have selected these groups is media to begin with has a lot of impact in changing the images, changing the perceptions of the people, And to a great extent, it is also responsible currently for the way girls are seen and portrayed in the, in the society through its portrayals and images that come to us again and again. And then, of course, youth, because they are our future. No point in talking to me, no point in talking to somebody who's 60-year-old, because they have already done the damage they had to do, and there's no point in reaching out to them. So we have to reach to the next generation, those who are going to make the changes, those who are going to redefine the gender equations and power equations. So we have to reach out to them and influence. So we had to use our resources in a more focused fashion. So we said that we'll zero in on media and the youth. Our theory of change is that if we influence the influencers, that is the youth and the media, then we will change the perceptions and equations. And then once they change their perceptions and gender equations, then we can think of having better programs and policies and also better implementation of programs. Because these youth are going to be tomorrow's IAS officers, IFS officers, corporates, media persons. They're going to be everywhere. In the next 15 years, if you want change, we have to now focus on the youth. If we don't focus on the youth, then we have, again, I think we'll be just stuck in the same thing. And the time is right, because youth is very disenchanted with the current system and they're willing to make a change. And if we don't act now, we lose a golden historical opportunity. So we really have to work on the youth. And how do we influence the media? It's very easy to say we are going to influence the media, but how are we going to influence the media? We have gender workshops with the media, we have media fellowships, we have publications, but the most important thing that we are doing with the media is the media awards. Our media, largely media awards for gender sensitivity. It is a year-long activity for us. We are working throughout the year with the editors, with the reporters, with the media leaders and cultural icons about these awards. And then we have press conferences in 18 to 20 cities, then we have regional awards in 4 centers, and we have jury, around 150 media leaders are on our jury at the regional level and at the national level. So the outreach of the message is really very, very high. And then it is also a high visibility event which actually creates a lot of awareness about what it is to be gender sensitive in media. And then we have the, sorry. I need help. So. Anyway, so we have, this is not my slide. Anyway, this is something which is very important. Then the second group that we are working is the advertising professionals, because we feel advertising professionals have a great role to play, because the messages of advertising are very, very subliminal. We don't even realize that we are being influenced when we look at the advertisements. Seeing something again and again repeatedly, influences us. And unlike TV programs, newspapers and other things, advertising hits us everywhere. Whether I'm seeing Bhakti channel, Fashion TV, Star TV or NDTV, it doesn't matter, Zee TV. I'm bombarded with advertisements and the messages which are conveyed to me without, I'm not a conscious consumer of advertising. It works at a very subliminal level and it has a lot of impact on how we behave. So we are working with the creative directors of ad agencies and GE channels, general entertainment channels. Then we have forged many media partnerships. So we have media joining us as media partners. So they give us a free space and they have many other ways of getting engaged with us on this issue. So that is the other one. And we have one-on-one meetings with the cultural icons and media leaders, which is very, very important for us. And this actually gets us their buy-in for the program, and that is something which actually helps us do a lot of activities with them. So this is some of the material we created with the help of the advertising professionals on sex selection. This is our Ladli Media Awards, where the political leaders and the celebrities and local celebrities and achievers, they all participate. And we also had a multimedia campaign called Million Signatures Campaign, and we collected 60,000 signatures and then we have submitted it to the Health Minister. And then how do we influence the youth? We realize that it is not, youth is not willing to listen to us if we are having, if we are talking about things in a academic fashion. We have to be very innovative and creative in talking to them. So we have started this Change Makers Clubs where we integrate the messages on gender in their curriculum, extracurricular activities and co-curricular activities. And we have also had many innovative programs like the 1-minute movies, where we ask students to make, after giving 2 days of training program, ask them to make a movie of 1 minute duration, raising one important question about gender, which was very, very successful. Around 60 students participated, and the way they made the films was amazing. And then we have the Million Signature campaign, which was based on signature pledges and other things on online, SMS, etc., etc. Then we have curriculum development workshops. We felt that teachers are mostly engaging in a lecture mode and not in a facilitation mode, because gender cannot be taught or discussed in a lecture mode. It has to be a experiential mode, and that has to be done through facilitation. And facilitation skills are something which are missing in this teaching profession, among the teaching professionals. So we have done a facilitation skills module with them, and it is published and ready for dissemination through through academic staff colleges and RCWS, that is Research Center in Women's Studies in SNDT. And of course, we do specific communication training programs like gender sensitization workshops, song development, street theater, puppetry workshops, and discussion forums in colleges, so that we creatively engage the youth in the activities. These are some of the activities: discussion forums, street plays, theme-based walks, etc. We have a lot of games which explain gender in a very interactive fashion. We have 1-minute movies, teacher training program. And how is the change process working? We have the visibility in public domain, leading to more corporate and NGO participation, which ultimately leads to judicial and media activism, leading to better policy implementation. One big example of this is the 52 convictions in Maharashtra under the PC, Prenatal Conception and Sex Determination Act in the last couple of years, as against not a single case in the last 1994, around 18 years since the law was passed. So this shows that visibility and bringing it into the public domain has a lot of impact. These are our milestones. In 2005, we started the Ladli campaign with focus on colleges. Then we moved on to the community, and we also went into what you call surveying the clinics. We surveyed 40 clinics, and we found 39 clinics were flouting the law. There was a big furor, and till date media is stalking the government with regard to this particular issue, and that is one reason maybe the government is so proactive in addressing this issue. And we have sensitized around 100 persons. And we have launched media awards and became more focused on media since 2009. So this is how our reach. And then we have sensitized around 300 advertising professionals. We have been co-opted into MTP Act Committee and IEC Committee. We were a member of State Commission for Protection of Child Rights. And most importantly, we have been able to forge partnerships with the International Association of Advertising, PNG, and IBF, Indian Broadcasting Federation, which are big organizations when it comes to media. And we have given a lot of awards. We got around 1 crore in terms of media partnerships, and around 150 cultural and youth icons are supporting us. So apart from what we have achieved, there is a lot that is in the form of influence. We have more ads with girls today, and then we have more celebrity endorsement, and we have a big programs having girl child as an issue, and we also have youth, the issue being taken seriously in the. Before we came into picture, this is how the girls were shown. Always cute little girls with the family, with the mother, with the father. And after our this thing, we have girls being shown independently, walking, going around, and not being very cute and sweet, having a dirty, uncombed hair, going in the wild, forgetting to tie, being clumsy, getting dirty. So this is something which has happened immediately after our interaction with the ad club. So we asked them the question, if you have used the stereotypes to promote the brands all these years, is it not time for you to change it and change the brands, use the brands to change the stereotypes? And you see here, HDFC ad, Now we are finding these young, unmarried girls or daughters, taking care of the parents, in a very positive way, buying them cars, buying them foreign tickets, going for foreign education, etc., etc. So this is a welcome change, and this shows that the advertising profession is responding. So we want to upscale this way. We want to increase our this thing, but more importantly, we want to mainstream these things into the media so that it becomes a sustainable change. Same thing in the colleges. We want to mainstream it in the curriculum and in the academic staff colleges. What do we need for this? We need core staff, trainers, and we need to measure the impact. We need money for research, evaluation, and monitoring, and infrastructure funds. We are I'm pitching for support for the core team, because currently our team is like this. We have the board of trustees, executive trustee, who is a hands-on executive trustee, Mr. Sister. I am the director, and we have the project staff. This is our board. We have the who's who of the corporate world on the board. And then this is the thing which is missing, the middle level. We don't have a middle level. We have project staff, and I'm there. So if I want to scale up, I need people to write the proposals. I need people to do the advocacy. I need people to do the training. So I'm asking for 5 people to be given, supported, so that we can take this agenda further. This is what these people will be doing, helping us to scale up. And the current budget is, we have 1.25 crore as project budget and around 10 lakhs as administrative expenses. But we have only 12 lakhs as core funding, which doesn't even meet my basic requirements, leave alone getting me any mid-level people. And now I have a commitment of 7 crores for the next 5 years. And I'm sure I'll be able to generate 17 crore rupees for the next 5 years, provided I have the core team with me, which costs 2 crore rupees. So this is what is my ask is. And I really need it because it's an important issue. This is the budget. This is important because if I raise this much of money through institutional fund, this is the money I'm raising. After 3rd year, I'll be raising more money than the money I'm taking from you. And for the next 5 years, after 5 years, I'll be self-sustainable. So I would like you to see this one small film before I
शुरू से ही आशा की जिंदगी सिर्फ इसीलिए कड़वी थी क्योंकि वो एक लड़की थी। उसकी जीत में भी उसे हार ही मिली।
तेरी पढ़ाई पे खर्चा करूंगा तो शादी पे क्या खिलाऊंगा? कद्दू।
सपने देखने चाहे तो दुत्कार मिली।
देखो बेटा, एक्शन तो हम ले लेंगे, लेकिन बदनामी आप ही की होगी।
अपनों के भेष में बेगाने मिले।
कथोरिया जी, हमें नहीं पता किस मेहनत का फल मिला।
तालियों की आड़ में ताने मिले। बराज आशा 1 करोड़ रुपए जीत गई है। बधाई हो आप।
धन्यवाद सर।
क्या कहना चाहेंगे आप?
मुबारक हो, लड़की हुई है।
क्या बात, समझ गया। लड़का लड़की का भेदभाव मिट जाता है, सिर्फ ज्ञान ही आपको आपका हक दिलाता है।
So this is the commercial made for Kaun Banega Crorepati, which has a bigger TRP than the average TRP, which is 7.1 or something. And then it is made by an advertising agency with which we are working on a regular basis, Leo Burnett. So as an NGO, even if you give me crores of rupees, I cannot get the exposure, I cannot get the kind of support which this one particular ad has got. So imagine if we are successful in influencing more and more advertising people, more and more media people to think from a gender perspective, to wear the gender lens when they are writing those articles, when they are doing their programming, when they are doing their communication, what difference we can make. I think we can change the DNA of our society, and we can make a big difference to the way we treat our women and we think about our women. And I think it is worth investing in this, so please do invest in it.
Thank you.